Welcome to Ryan Anderson's Tire Talk, the only podcast that brings you the latest highlights and behind-the-scenes updates every week, directly from the son of a digger himself. Here he is, Monster Jam World Finals champion, Ryan Anderson.
All right, so episode 4?
4.
Tire Talk.
4.
Obviously, we're down a couple members here. Camden's doing media. We're in Anaheim. Sorry we skipped last week, but we'll make up for it now. We've had a pretty crazy week going on. Me and Tyler stayed out between the two Anaheims. Bart came in early. We played RC cars. It's been insane.
Yeah. Finally did my first housing in like 4 weeks on the RC cars. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
We're slowly developing ways to try and remedy that. We got some cool freestyle RC little braces that we put underneath the 4-link mounts on the bottom of the housing, so that's helping a little bit. We still want to go a little bit further with it though.
Yeah, Horizon Hobbies has hooked it up too. We got like just parts trucks. It's pretty insane.
Yeah.
But honestly, the shows, like our actual show, the actual monster truck show that we're really here for, have been freaking awesome, man. We've been getting wild. Like it's freestyle's been pretty crazy. Tyler had a good one last night, so we're between shows right now. It's
Sunday morning.
Yeah, Sunday morning, and last night was pretty freaking awesome. I had an amazing night. I won racing skills and freestyle, so I'm definitely happy with it. But everybody had we all had a pretty good night. But the last Sunday show was insane. We literally had the best freestyles. Like everybody had the best freestyles that we've had all year. Well, maybe
except for two.
Yeah, except for two. What a rook.
Yeah, I finally walked away last night not hating my life completely. I mean, I hated it because I was the one that messed it up, but
Still got greedy.
Yeah, he was getting greedy.
don't question it.
He was getting greedy.
Don't.
So look, well,
question it.
I'll insert the video right here, and you hear that rev. Wow! Tyler is so hard up trying to get a backflip to moonwalk again, which he got it, but he's putting his hand on the shifter heading to the ramp, and you can't do that.
Well, hear me out. This happened last time the first time we were in Anaheim, and I hadn't done it. I hadn't made that mistake since. But in Houston, when I got it, you're right. I didn't have my hand on the shifter.
Yeah.
The last night I was rolling over there. I was like, okay, put my hand on the shifter and I put some strength on that thing. I was like, this sucker ain't moving.
She moves.
And it drove up the ramp pretty nice. And then halfway, about when the rear tires really needed to power off the ramp.
Yeah. Neutral.
The old nooch.
So basically, when you're doing a backflip, you gotta treat it like it's the Wild Wild West, like it's a draw. So you hit the ramp. And you're like this.
Wait for
when
it.
you feel it upside down, you know you got it.
6-shooter.
Yeah.
6-shooter.
Pop off. So if you're holding that shifter, our shifters are beside us like this. It's a T-handle style shifter. And to be honest with you, I don't like our shifters really. Like there's so many other shifters that I think would work better for us, but whatever. It's what's in them. But that shifter can kind of go wherever you want, especially if you hold up. There's like a T that you got to pull up, and if you hold that up, it can go from park to first, like no problem. Well, when you're holding that thing and you run into that backflip wall, it's a wall. It just slams into it. So I don't think you can physically hold the shifter and run into the backflip wall without moving. Like it's just such a jar. I don't think you can do it.
It's almost like having your brake pedal foot hovering the brake pedal.
Yeah.
You can't do that either approaching the backflip ramp because the initial impact of hitting the backflip ramp will jar your foot and you press the brake by mistake and then same result.
I mean, I'm pretty sure if I do it again, Ryan's going to cuss me out. So.
Absolutely.
Me too.
I actually cussed my crew chief out for to you.
Over the radio.
Yeah, like yeah. I was mad.
I was having a magic run.
It was good run. It was good run.
I was having a good run.
Yeah. And nobody, I think I might have been the only one that landed a backflip, and mine sucked, and it broke a wheel off in this crazy way too. Like normally when our wheels break, it breaks at like the flange of the housing where our knuckle, like the steering assembly, it bolts to the housing, or at the spindle, which is what our planetary hub assembly attaches to it. Those are like our two, not necessarily weak points. That's just the points that break. Well, mine ripped the whole center out of the planetary. Like I've never seen it happen before. Like none of the crew guys had ever seen it. Fried Eddie has been with us for
15 years.
Yeah, something crazy. He was talking. We were all like, a little bit excited. Honestly, like it was an achievement. The whole guts ripped out of it, man. So pretty intense night for sure. Bari had a pretty crazy rollover.
Yeah, tell me just I don't
Man.
Not trying to throw you on the wayside here, Bari, but
Go
just
ahead.
go ahead and tell me about your freestyle last night.
Man, it was going good, and then I was trying to kind of pace myself, which always seemed to bite me when I try and do that instead of just doing my normal deal. I hit the jammer trying to get a slap wheelie. Didn't really set that up very well, so it was still a good jump to start the freestyle out. But then I come around, hit one race lane, hit the other one, just trying to progressively get bigger. Hit the Stockholm stack pretty hard.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, that was good. But if you know me, I don't like landing nose dive landings. Like I like landing.
It
nose
did it
high.
on that one too.
And I was like, ooh, it made me so mad. So I turned around and I hit, the big ski jump with the step up on the backside, and I corrected and like as soon as I left the ramp, and I was like, just this little bit of off kilter kind of flight in the air. It transfers so much energy when one wheel hits the ground to the other, and then once you don't have enough ground speed, it really messes you up. So it hiked up on the rebound, and I saved it, but it rebounded back on the other side, and I just couldn't have the luck of saving it twice in that time.
Yeah, I didn't realize. So when he hit the jump, I was strapped in, so I could see where he hit the jump was right in front of me, but I couldn't see what happened. I could hear the throttle and was like, I thought like, okay, he's like in trouble, something's going on. But like I thought it just rebounded up and just like whipped up on the side, which they'll do that from time to time. And I thought you just saved it. And like, if you save it too fast, it'll whip right to the other side. And then like honestly, when it does that, there's like almost no chance you're gonna have time. Our steering is not fast enough to correct in time to catch that when it happens. It's super hard to catch. But what he did when he took off the ramp, it actually sent the truck just a tiny bit crooked in the air.
Yeah.
And when you correct, well, I guess it was this way a little bit, but then you correct it a little bit, so the truck's flying crooked, and your front tires are straight, for say. Well, when it lands, the front tires want to pull this way, the back tires want to go that way, so the truck wants to just go crazy, and it bounces all nuts, and it's hard to do. And honestly, I've figured it out, but I still make the mistake. But and I say that Adam honestly was the one that really started doing it. Is when you jump crooked, just stay straight. Keep your wheel straight. And it seems all wrong, but if you correct, it just wants to just whip you around. It's hard. Like happens to us a lot in racing. In racing, our turns are so close to the jump that a lot of times when you come around, you're still drifting when you hit the ramp, which then transfers you the other way, and your reaction is to correct. You want to be back where you're supposed to be, but literally you need to do like half correction or none.
Yeah. Because
it's going to overcorrect you, and then you're probably going to end up rolling over. My deal, the Hoonigan thing, is finally officially official. And a lot of people were confused about, not necessarily confused, but like asking, well, what does it mean? So obviously I've been with Hoonigan for 11 years. So the year that Hoonigan started was 2011. The year I brought out Son of a Digger was 2011. And my debut run, I did the awesome backflip that was like kind of set my whole career in motion. And Hoonigan used a clip of that in their release video, releasing that they were going to create this brand that was going to be about just being crazy, like driving any type of vehicle in a wild way, shape, or form. And I made the video, so I was all excited. I messaged them or emailed them, I think, through their website. Their website was like literally nothing at the time. And they sent me a package of stuff, and we've just been friends since then. And well, in the past 5 years, it's really picked up. A friend of mine, Andrew, has went from the RC world to Hoonigan, and he's basically the guy that handles all their athletes or anybody they sponsor or whatever, So he's been on the horn with me constantly back and forth with all kinds of cool merch and stuff. I honestly haven't bought a t-shirt in probably like 11 years.
Sweet.
But now it's official through Monster Jam. So Monster Jam basically has the say-so and everything that goes on with trucks that run their circuit. And so it was like an unofficial thing. And the Burnyard video, obviously, 2 years ago was basically the start of this whole deal going on. But obviously, COVID kind of put a little bit of a extension plan in there. But now this whole thing means, obviously, the stickers. I like the stickers on there; they're cool. But this whole thing means that it's going to open up me doing a lot more stuff with Hoonigan, like off the Monster Jam track. We want to get like I personally, and we're still just throwing ideas out. Like we don't even know what we're going to do yet. Like. We just want to make something crazy happen. So, like, I want to get... I told him, like, first thing, I want to get involved in the Gymkhana videos. That would be freaking awesome. I want to do more Burnyard stuff. I want them to come to the track. Like, just me on the track or whatever, just like a special deal for Hoonigan, where I try to do stuff just for them, or like some tricks that they want me to do or whatever. But basically, it's just opening the door for us to do stuff together that's not normal, and that's exactly what I want to do. I'm super excited about it. A lot of people are asking me like, what does it mean? What's going on with it? Blah blah blah. Pretty much, it's just now it's about to get serious with Hoonigan. I'm gonna be doing some crazy stuff with my truck, all kinds of stuff. Actually, I can't tell you a lot, but my truck was at Hoonigan Wednesday. So
It was badass.
Yeah, he was there.
Yeah,
Tig
it was
stayed out for it. It was
Yeah.
pretty sweet. But yeah, that's about all I can tell you. Just keep an eye on YouTube.
So probably just open up the comments. I mean, what do you guys want to see Ryan do?
Yeah. Like, honestly, like I'm trying to even figure out, just like, even if it's just like a one specialty trick to do. Like I want to try to do stuff that hasn't really been done before, like tricky stuff. So like I want to do drifting stuff with the monster truck. I want to do like different tricks, but tricks in areas that it shouldn't be done at. Like, I just want to try everything, basically. I want to do stuff with the truck with other vehicles. And then, I've said it to him before, like, I want Ken to drive my truck so I can drive the Hoonigan. I want to drive the Hoonigan so bad. I actually drove the Camaro. Tyler's seen it. The Camaro that they built for Chevrolet with a 632 cubic inch crate. It's like 1,200 horsepower with a warranty. It's crazy. This car is an absolute animal, like insane. I was just pulling it to the garage. They told me, dude, you can just park it, no problem. Absolutely dumped the hell out of the car 3 times. It was awesome.
So I'm standing there, and I know that he's gonna pipe this sucker off a little bit. So I'm standing on the other side of where his monster truck's parked out in the front of the Hoonigan shop, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like sitting there, and it just keeps revving up, and I'm like,
I was trying to warm it up.
is this son of a gun? Yeah, I know, but like, were you really gonna pipe her off that much? Do you need her 220 or what?
Yeah, no, the thing took a long time to warm up, and the last thing I want to do is take off cold and like something happened to this motor while I'm really probably not supposed to be driving it, But it was sweet.
Speaking of running hot, you're running pretty hot.
Last night,
Yeah, honestly, the past 2 shows. So last Sunday, during racing, my water pump, I had we have like these weather pack connections. They're super nice, but it got yanked. The wire got yanked somehow or another. I think it was actually from my rear end getting ripped out the night before. Pretty much, it didn't come all the way out, but I think it got yanked from just the carnage. And during racing, I was radioing to my crew guy like, "Hey, I'm gaining temperature and it's not cooling down. Like every round, I'd gain like 20 or 30 degrees and it wouldn't cool. My fans are running, so like when you can't hear the water pump running, you hear the fans running. So I'm like, something's up. Come down here and like dose it down with water. Like spray water on the radiator. We just got bottles of water. Radiator, spray it on the block, whatever. It's probably not good for it, but we're trying to cool this thing down. So we had to basically just make it through racing. So the truck was running so hot that it was actually like bogging off the line to take off for racing. But I still won racing, so it was honestly probably helped me out.
It did probably because it was slick.
It was slick, yes.
So a bog off the line would have been.
This was last Sunday, and then today, so then we, got it fixed. I found it. It was a connection. The weather pack was just pulled, fixed it. Everything's great. Go out there last night, and same thing. Like do intros. I'm like, man, this thing's kind of hot, buddy. What's going on here? And he's like, I don't know. He's gonna run down and check it out. But the show's going on. Like, there's not really time to check things out without pulling off the track. And when you pull off the track, you're like really pushing it on whether they're gonna let you come back out. Like during racing, if you pull off the track, more than likely you're out. Like you're done. So I'm like not willing to do that. Like it wasn't getting that hot, so I started pulling into a different spot and just nosing in. So I basically finished my race as fast as I could back to the pit area and pull into the closest spot to my crew guy and like shut it off, coast in, trying to keep it cool. He finally got a chance to come out there. The fans were not running, so no cooling fans. The water pump was running, no cooling fans, and so we're just dousing the radiator with cold water, which would help cool the radiator, cool the cooling back in the motor. So it stayed fairly decent, but it was at the same time it was like if he wouldn't have doused it with water, it would have been boiling hot again, and that's not good. For these motors, that'll make you blow a head gasket. It's just not good for them. It starts making all kinds of bad stuff happen. But limped it through basically and got the win, the racing win again. Go back up top, and so after last weekend, I got actually give credit to Fitchett, he's actually a shock guy. He was a crew guy for a long time. he gave me the idea to leave a little pigtail wire off of the alternator power. So there's a main power from the battery that goes to the alternator. It's right there by all the cooling fans, by the water pump and everything. So I put that on there last weekend to just basically straight wire the water pump during the show, because like we don't have time to figure out like what's messed up and where. We're not gonna fix that. Like this, just straight wire this sucker. It'll be good. You know, the truck's hot enough. It needs the water pump the rest of the show. So I basically did the same thing again for the water pump. So we went back out. You know, tried a couple little things, just making sure the fan was working, making sure checking for power. It didn't have power, so like, all right, straight wire this sucker. Let's roll. Went back out for 2-wheel. Had an awesome 2-wheel. Then after that, it was good. You know, the fans just running the whole time. We have a master power switch, which kills all power, so I can turn the fans off like that. But pretty much, yeah, I was like borderline getting to melt the motor down again. So thankfully, I limped it through. If it wasn't for all the guys running out, like it was everybody. Bill Lofthouse, which is Camden's crew guy. I think your dude, Antoine, coming out there. A bunch of people come out there, waters like this, and just dumping it all over the place. There's a mud hole underneath my truck.
Yeah. I got out for freestyle, and Chris was like, "I'll give you a water, but we used it all in Ryan's truck."
I know. I had to go find. I just found a random one that was like, I don't think it was cracked.
So it's not cracked, but there's this much water left in it. Oh, it's not cracked. Yeah, let me just have it.
Yep.
Yeah. You glazed over 2-wheel though, but let's just talk about the 2-wheel skills attempt.
Last night?
Yes. Halfway around Angel Stadium on the bicycle?
You did it last night?
Yeah, I'm about halfway around. I made it almost to the other race lane. Like it was, honestly, it was going up too far, and it was starting to want to go straight, and I was heading towards the wall protection. So I had to ease up and bring it down some, but then I started losing it, and it was so slick in the turns that I was trying to dig it back out, and it just ended up spinning out. So
it was super slick last night.
It wasn't bad. It was pretty good. It was probably one of the smoothest ones, to be honest. Like it was super nice. But then the one after that one was a little crazy. You seen that one?
Well, I could have swore I seen both of them, but I don't know.
Okay, so I went for the bicycle to Sidewall Cyclone, and I haven't really nailed it all year. Well, this one was like beyond nailing, I'd say, because it went like maybe like a rotation and a half, and I felt it like, all right, it's starting to like, you know, I feel the way it's pulling, like I think it's going to want to set back down. So I tickle the rear steer to try to, you know, transfer get the rear end to spin under some more. Well, when I do that, a lot of times it also does pick up the front wheels. So it's kind of like, you know, you got to like, just give it a little bit. Well, it perfectly worked out this time, which was not because I was like, hey, let me do this exact amount and this will pick the front tires up. Like, no, I was just trying to keep it on 2 wheels basically. But it jumped up onto one back wheel and did like another rotation and a half on just one wheel. It was pretty crazy. Like I didn't realize exactly what happened. Like I felt it in the truck when it picked up and it started rotating differently. I was like, man, it just felt weird. You know, like it was like normally it sets you down in the seat and shoves you back, and that was kind of like picking up on me. Like it was a different.
Man, I thought St. Louis was about to happen all over.
I know. That's why I'm still like. I'm trying to, like, I watched that video a lot, trying to figure out, in St. Louis, I did a Sidewall Cyclone and tickled the rear steer trying to make it go longer. I wanted more revolutions on the sidewall, and it dug in and popped up, and it just happened to be just perfect, like, perfect speed. I was in and out of throttle perfectly, like, not because I knew exactly what was going on, I just had a good idea of, like, what was happening. And when it went up, I hit the brakes, and it happened to catch in a perfect wheelie and rode a wheelie out of a Sidewall Cyclone. It was freaking insane. Like, still, yeah, it was absolutely filthy. So, yeah, I honestly thought that was going to happen again. I'm trying to figure out how the hell to do it again. Like, that one was just insane.
Yeah, everything happens so fast, especially when you're doing sidewall donut saves. It's like, it's hard to even know where you're at in the midst of it all. You have to really just go by the feel of what the truck is giving you. Yeah, Tyler had a pretty good moonwalk going. You walked it up.
Yeah, it was so slick that I was going to go for the step up, but literally everybody and their dog went for the step up last night. So I was like, as much as I want to go do that, I better hit something else. So I go out first thing, I go with a little tabletop over there, and it had a pretty good lip on it, which I like a good lip, but that one's a little extreme, because if I want to go back over it, then I really got to be careful when I get to the top of that lip and then drop down it. It's kind of sketch to do that. So I get up and I'm spending way too much time on the flat. Like my goal is to go up and then end up on the other side of the track, actually. But I got up halfway up the face, and they must have nobody really had been up that face yet, and they must have had just too much water on it, and so it spun kind of sideways, and as it's spinning, it's falling. So I'm just like as far as I can in reverse, just full throttle, and it landed on the transfer, blew a rear steer line, which I didn't know at the time. So I'm like, it kind of went to the ass of the truck, and it's like leaning. I was like, okay. So theory of monster trucks is if you're going forward and you have to save the truck, no rear steer. But if you're going backwards, no front steer, because if you're going forward and you hit the rear steer, it's going to wash the truck out. It's just going to, and then so if you think about it, if you're going backwards and do the front steer, it's going to do the same thing in the other direction. So it was on one tire on the back, so I'm in there rear steering left, so I can dig it out. And little did I know the rear steer line was ballooned, so it didn't even
didn't matter.
Didn't
It's just
steer
flopping.
in. So it's just doing this, but it actually did a little bit, like half a rotation, and in there I'm just like, this is going to be the coolest thing ever, and then, no, it just rolled over. So, yeah, it was not that cool.
But today we got, what time was our pit party start? 1:30?
11:30.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
45 minutes.
Yeah, we still got to make it even to the track. But, yeah, so today is like not many people are talking about rounds much anymore. I thought it was kind of cool. Round 14.
Wow.
Today. And we're not even like, I think we might be at the halfway point now.
Maybe. I don't know. We still got a long way to go.
Damn. Man, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. These two shows, weekends are like getting to like where it's like, I'm starting like to forget what day it is.
That's only because we've been here for a week.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
We've been here for
We've
2
been here
weeks.
for
Me and
2
Tyler
weeks.
have. We've had a good time though. We've been between the Hoonigan. Obviously, the Hoonigan thing was awesome. What was some
We
other
went to
stuff?
Casey Curry's shop.
Yeah, he went to Casey Curry's shop. That was freaking cool. So
Sweet.
Casey Curry, his father's Curry Enterprise. They make rear ends, axles, front rear ends. But they make some of like the most awesome stuff. And the best part is they make like basically everything they make is custom, but it's also bolt in. So like you can order a front end for your Jeep or truck, whatever, and they'll completely tab it. Like all the brackets you need, it just bolts right in. I mean, and these things are insane. Like, the sky is the limit. Like, you want like a fully fabricated housing with aluminum center section. Like, you could probably spend like $10,000 on the front end with them. But it's freaking legit. It was sweet to see that part. Casey's like my age. He's got some kids like around Race's age too. But he's been racing his whole life like me, but just basically West Coast style, which is off-road racing, side by sides, trophy trucks, short course racing, all that stuff. So then we go to his personal shop. Oh my god, dude! It was stacked.
It was
from end to end with just the most ridiculous stuff. Like it was like a full competition moon crawler buggy, which is just insane. For his son. That was his son. He made this big billet foot slider pedal. So he's like, I want to drive it too, and then my 7-year-old can drive it. And then a pre-runner Ultra 4 car, I think it was.
It was his Ultra 4.
Yeah, his Ultra 4. Yeah, the pre-runner and the old one.
That's right.
Pre-runner.
Pre-runner and his
new Ultra 4.
And his side-by-side that he crashed.
Yeah, he did the new Razor. So they did Razor. Polaris Razor just did a 4-cylinder, non-turboed, like complete revamp of the Razor, and it's crazy. Like these things are like $40,000, like starting price.
Yeah,
that's insane. Yeah, his was trashed.
No,
it was just
sitting there.
I think it was on a pallet. Yeah, it was trashed. And then he had 2 other ones brand new, like a 2-seater and a 4-seater. Like you can't even barely get these things yet. He had 3. He had 1 trashed out, 2 other brand new ones just chilling.
I will say, the Dakar.
Yeah.
Side by side. So he's racing Dakar with side by side.
Not yet. He hadn't even done it yet.
No, that's what I'm saying. He's going to.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what Dakar is, the Dakar Rally is like, I don't know how many different classes they have. I mean, there's
it's
plenty.
The world's biggest off-road race.
Like they have like what I mean, they're not semis, but they're the what would you call them?
It's like their support truck. So the teams have like I think that's what it is, like a support truck for one of the cars, but the support truck also has to race. And these support trucks are humongous.
They got
it's
like a 50 some inch.
Yeah, they're probably 52. I think they're 52 Michelin.
Probably 5-ton axle under them. Or 2.5 ton.
Honestly, dude, I don't like at least 5 ton. I'd say these things are huge.
Wow.
It's
massive.
It's like imagine like the biggest camper you can think of, like a big Prevost camper.
Yeah.
With like 20 inches of suspension travel, 50-inch tires, and they literally are like bombing these things through the desert, jumping
through like creeks and stuff. Like,
it's 3 people, I'm pretty sure too. It's 3 racing seats side by side. But in the back,
it's literally like if you, it's like a box truck. Almost like a stub-nosed box truck.
Yeah.
And they're just
the whole back's filled. That's what I think. The whole back is filled up with parts for not only that truck, but then also like
That's
the
pretty
car they're
wild.
with. I feel like they're with a car.
Like your support.
But he's got
Yeah.
the side by side that he's racing the car with, and I think
And he was insane.
awesome.
Sweet.
He's got outdoor or out outside the cab. He's got the fire. It wasn't a fire extinguisher. In the
Yeah, he's got their switches all over the place, and he was telling us, it's like, what are all these like toggle switches on the hood for? And there's like 2 on either side, and they're color coded and stuff like that. He said, dude, Dakar's rules are insane. So like you're like you're in the middle of nowhere. Like there's like you're lucky to have a helicopter chasing you. Like that's it. Other than that, there's nobody else. You're in the middle of the Sahara Desert, like all over wherever they are racing is just insane. So basically, no matter which way the car rolls, they want to have, Dakar requires you to have like a master kill switch and a master fire suppression system on all corners of the car. So like imagine you roll upside down and you're like stuffed into a bush, or just, you know, driver side down, you got to climb up passenger side. They want it on the passenger side front. I think it was even on the back too. So like the easiest access for it. I get it. It's a pain to build that way, but it does make sense for, you know, if you're middle of nowhere and, you know, like your only chance of surviving or the car not just burning to the ground. But he was telling us all kinds of stuff, like the way the roll cages have to be made, like the one bar, the windshield bar has to go up, tilt back for the windshield, all one piece, up over the roof, back down, and connect back to the main frame on either side. Has to be one continuous bar the whole way, or else you're like, it's, you know,
It's against the rules.
yeah, against the rules. I get it, because like, you know, just in case somebody doesn't weld it just right, like you don't want a breaking point, but pretty crazy.
Yeah, no doubt.
But that was pretty cool. California's always got some fun stuff to do. Honestly, you know, and I think it's kind of seemed a little bit like, I say a little bit more fun here.
Yeah.
Than normal, because I feel like everybody's so trying to get like make up for lost time.
Yeah.
Nobody's been shut down more than California.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure like even the crowds, like we've had
3 sold out.
Yeah, 3 sold out. Every Saturday night show has been sold out. The Sundays they haven't been bad. I mean, they've been pretty jammed up too. But everybody's just insane. Like they're so so much pent up energy. Everybody's ready to go.
Yeah, it's fun. It's always fun coming out here though. Like,
What's planned for today then?
Today, it's our last time here.
It's our last day in Anaheim.
Yeah, all of 2022. This is the last time we'll be in Anaheim.
Take hasn't done with the crap yet.
You need to absolutely freaking kill it.
I've been trying. Okay,
Next tire talk, I'm gonna actually beat him like a child if he does.
Listen, Anaheim has been my literal nightmare. I don't know why. It's the dumbest stuff that's been breaking. The first event, I basically wasn't even there.
Yeah.
The second one, I rolled over early. Third, I don't remember.
Sway, you did a pretty good round of sway bar links here too, I think.
And then last Sunday, fuel mat.
Yeah.
And a broke axle.
yeah.
You know, actually, I want to talk about it. Camden's not here. He's normally always here with us. And last night he got it raw, dude. That sucked. I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty bummed about that. Like that was a little so. And it's one of those. I'm getting on one of those subjects again. It's like, we're having to tiptoe in our Jordans around this right now. So it's a safety issue. So around the entire stadium here, and a lot of times we do it, but this one's the entire stadium is surrounded by. It's actually dumpsters, big, humongous dumpsters, because they're huge, they're hard to move, and you know what the hell else is going to hold back a monster truck? Right. But so basically that they say that is the wall. That is like hitting a dumpster or a wall protection is equivalent to hitting a wall. And that's like a no-no. That's like about the biggest no-no there is in Monster Jam. So last night, Camden swung around, swinging wide. You know, he had in my opinion, probably the winning run going on, because every truck in front of him just didn't quite get it. Crashed early, failed the backflip, blah, blah, blah. He was going big. He had the biggest air so far. He was the best momentum so far. Like, he just needed a little bit more, and then to do a backflip. And because every other run in front of him was like, just didn't quite get it, he would have got a huge score. Yeah. Like, you know, that's just how the game works. So he was pretty much on the winning run. Like, even anybody after him, like if I would have went after him and had an even better run, it's still like he had the first good run. It got everybody's excitement. So the few fans that are judging are just killing the score. Huge. That was the first one that got him excited. After that, you got to double that to even match the score. But he swung around wide and clipped the dumpsters. He clipped one a little bit, maybe moved it over like, it'd be hard for me to even say a foot. Just barely moved it, and it caught the next one. And it caught it with the beadlock ring, so it made a little bit of a noise, but it wasn't that insane. And they shut him off into his room. he was done. It was the
only reason I can think that they would actually do that though is he was flirting with her pretty hard.
He was getting
like every that's
pass.
only
okay. I didn't really pay close attention to that
because every time we were sitting there watching, I was like,
closer and closer.
He was
because I even told Camden, like I was telling him how I felt about it. You know, I was like I hit it last weekend, so I did my freestyle last weekend with no rear steer, whole freestyle. I was actually fourth out in freestyle. And as I'm pulling out to turn around and line up for my first jump, I realized, I have no rear steer. Like, that sucks. Like, it's monster trucks without rear steer sucks. So I was just swinging wide, going as crazy as I could. Still had an awesome run, but my point being was the one jump I come off of, I knew there was no way I was going to be able to turn left, so I wanted to go right, and I still wasn't going to make it. So I was going fast, trying to slide around, and I hit the brakes, had the truck in reverse, trying to go backwards, but it was so slick, I hit the dumpsters. I moved the dumpster more than Camden did, and they never shut me off. Kept going. Like, the only thing I could think of is because they could see that I was attempting to get away from it. You know, I don't know, because it wasn't like he was like running into it. You know, he just like grazed past the side. Yeah, so I was kind of, I don't know. It's a little weird. Like I kind of felt bad for Camden on that one, to be honest with you. And it's home to Spin Master. Like, it's where he needs to rock it if anywhere. But oh well, unfortunately, that's a part of the game you got to roll with. I mean, our tech officials are put into a crazy predicament. They have a remote ignition interrupter that can turn us off, and each one of them have their own quadrants, and they're reliable for anything that happens on the stadium floor in that area, and also like the people. Like if anybody comes down into our safety hole, it's like they got to stop the show. We got to get them out, so that's part of their job as well. But they're watching us. They got to watch for things on the truck breaking. They got to watch for, like, if we run into wall protection, all kinds of stuff. So they're kind of put into a crazy spot. And one thing that I know, like, they don't talk about, but it weighs, you know, like a lot on them, is we're friends with all those guys, and we joke around and have good times and things like that. And they are the ones that are, you know, forced to shut us off at times when we don't want to be shut off and we don't like it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, 90% of the people in the stands have no idea that there is such thing as an RI, and they have no idea why we got shut off and why our run was ended just then, and they just think that we're stupid. Like, basically, that's how I feel about it. Like, what a sissy, he just quit. What the hell? Like, he wasn't done yet. So those guys kind of they get stuck in a spot where it's very, you know, I feel for them because they're forced to, you know, enforce the rules that are put on us, but they're also like our friends, and they also are probably the biggest monster truck fans in the stadium.
Honestly, yeah.
They literally are. Like every tech official is so into monster trucks, which is great. Like they have to be, because they have to have an understanding. If they weren't fans, or if they didn't enjoy monster trucks and didn't get involved the way they did, like it's literally a passion for them, and it has to be that way. Because if they didn't care, they wouldn't care. But and they wouldn't care about us. They wouldn't care about the show. They'd be like, whatever, you know, click. And there's definitely a gray area on almost everything that they can decide let it slide or not. And you know, that's
why I never get mad at those guys.
Yeah,
ever, because there is drivers that get very furious when they get shut off, like very mad, and it's just like, man, like I always tell myself, like, I can be mad in the truck. I'm not going to tell anybody. Like if they shut me off, like I'm going to be mad, and when I get out, I'm just like nothing happened.
Yeah, I'll still like talk to them about it a little bit, like, man, that was kind of a bummer, you know, like, but not like I'm not gonna
just
like
maybe
chew their
ask them what
ass.
happened at least.
Yeah, because there's definitely people like on this tour and other tours that will chew their ass. So it's like, yeah, that's definitely gonna help your situation out. Then, in my opinion, as soon as you do that, that's like all grounds. Like if you're even close next time, bam.
Yep.
It's kind of like getting the tech with the official in a basketball game. Like, I seen your attitude last time, so I'm gonna be really watching you this time.
Literally. And it does always seem to be the people that like always are a little out of control or a little wildly coyote that want to be that way, you know. Right. So it's definitely they're putting gas on a fire that they don't need. But so it's I'd love to, honestly, I want to get a tech official on here. We ought to get a couple. Frank.
Tell him the story about Frank that you told us last night.
About him falling?
No. Well, we can do that one too, but just how every time you see him.
Oh man, no, I can't. Oh yeah, okay. So Frank's like, he's my favorite tech official. I just love him, dude. He's such a lovable guy. He loves monster trucks. He's super cool, He's into RCs. I like RCs, all that cool stuff. Well, when I show up to a show, I feel bad, and I keep catching myself doing it. Like all the other, I love all the other tech officials. They're all cool. I'm all buddies with them. But just something about Frank just gets me pumped up. Like,
man.
Frank, and every other tech official sitting there like,
What about me?
Hey Ryan. Dang, man.
Except for old Tim McGraw.
Yeah, Tim McGraw. I literally don't know his real name, and I don't want to know it. Don't even tell me.
I do know it.
Our one tech official, he has the countryest twang there ever is.
He's from Southern Illinois.
Yeah, basically.
He's not even in the South.
Yeah, well, yeah. So he's basically like, my first reaction when I heard his voice was like, any country singer that pops to mind, that's his name. It just so happened to be Tim McGraw.
So he's Tim McGraw.
Yeah, so he's Tim McGraw now. Yeah, I'll put up a picture of him.
I'll tell you.
I'm putting the picture up. Tell him. Go ahead. Hit the quote.
Tim McGraw has tagged us in a photo the other day, and so I commented and I'm like, Tim. I was like, well, let me look at this guy's Instagram a little bit. So I'm going down, and you have to read it in his voice. So let me just tell you, time moves a little slower there in Southern Illinois. That's all I can say about it. So here's Tim McGraw posted up on this horse with a natty light in his hand.
Bareback
in this horse. And, of course, I do the same thing for Tony because anytime Tony posts anything, I read it in his voice. So, same thing with Tim McGraw here. The caption is, there ain't another horse around like old Liberty.
You got to get it like him. I ain't no other horse around like Liberty. That's not even what it says. That's not it.
No,
right?
it is. I swear.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah. So I confronted him about this. I didn't confront him. I just literally said the caption. I said, Tim, I was checking out your Instagram the other day, and I'll tell you what, there ain't another horse around like old Liberty. He goes, there sure isn't.
Loves the horse.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's a good time.
We've had a lot of fun with everybody this year. Even I want to get Mosier on here too.
Yeah.
Mosier's our show director. He's like King Tut at the show, so he's the one in the top calling the shots. He's been a fan of Monster Jam for a long time.
So he used to be a sheriff?
Yeah, he used to be a sheriff.
I couldn't imagine him.
We're going to ask him about that. It does not match him whatsoever.
Yes, he used to be a sheriff. His favorite truck's Carolina Crusher.
Yeah,
know that.
Dude, no. I was at the show when it was Gary's last show. He was there.
Was he? I don't remember.
Oh, is he not there? No. Where was he? He was in China. And it was Gary's last show. He was doing the Monster Jam in China, and he was wearing all Carolina Crusher during the show. Over in China.
You should have seen him in Houston in
honor.
October when they got inducted Gary. Oh, he was just...
He probably cried.
He was taken out. That was a full-fledged take if I ever seen one.
We'll bust on him a little bit because he's a good time. He's one of the best.
Is.
We do enjoy him a lot. But I want to get him on here because he's the guy that literally has to take this shitstorm of a tornado by the reins and try to hold it back. So every bad thing that happens goes to Mosier. Every good thing that happens goes to Mosier. Everything that goes on during the show, whether it be the show, the trucks, the drivers, the performances, security, the tickets, the people, concessions, merchandise, everything gets just wham right into Mosier. So he's got a shit job, to be honest. It's got its perks, I'm sure. He enjoys it because you're literally steering the ship. He is running the show. He calls the shots on who goes when goes how, and what time we start, what time it ends, everything. So we got to get him in here because he'll give us insight that we don't even we know, but we don't really know.
He knows it firsthand.
Yeah, we've never been in the booth
right.
and really called the shots and stuff like he has. So we'll get him on here. We'll definitely will. But honestly, we probably should actually do our job.
Yeah, we got 30 minutes to pit party.
We're in the hotel still.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
I guess. Well, sorry for skipping last week's.
It happens. Me and Ryan have been. It's we're in the Wild West for 2 weeks. We were dehydrated. We almost died a couple times.
Yeah, I literally do feel like two stray dogs.
Couple gray wolves.
Yeah.
couple stray dogs on their last life.
Yeah, 100%. I've only got 3 legs actually.
Yeah, no, it's mangy, the dog.
Chihuahua we saw
Yeah.
before.
Yeah, the Chihuahua breakfast.
Yeah.
I couldn't help it, man. That thing looked like a piece of shit.
This poor guy. He probably loves his
He's
dog.
sitting down there feeding it. I'm like,
we're eating outside. I don't like eating outside. We're gonna eat outside, whatever. Okay?
His spoon that he took out of his coffee.
He's over here. on his spoon, Chihuahua. And I'm like, God dang, that little fucking.
I'm sitting
It was
there
bad.
What?
It was a mangy little Chihuahua. It was bad.
It's like you took, you take your legs here and you go
That's
like
his
that.
whole
That's
body.
literally his whole body.
Yeah, he could polish the hell out of some rims. You know he's got the oil too, like already.
It's a natural
It's like
oil.
steel
It's
wool.
natural.
You get the steel wool, you just bust it out and start polishing. God, okay, all right.
Peterbilt driver would love to have that sucker on the road with him.
They jack the rig up, get the wheels turned, and just. All right, we gotta quit. We gotta get our shit together. Thank you guys. We'll see you next time. Sorry for skipping this week's. Maybe we'll do another one.